Thank you,
I'll let you know when there's one to go.
The Electoral Amendment Political Funding Bill 2011 is a very welcome bill, and I'm delighted to see it before the House both last night and today. I think we know all too well that the link between politics and money is an unhealthy one, and the greater transparency that is to be brought to this is therefore welcome. I welcome too the commitment to introduce gender quotas for political parties, as I believe in a democracy that is truly representative of the people. When half of one's own country is not properly represented in this House, the laws we make and the decisions we take can be too reflective of a male-dominated society. These main tenets that form the core of this bill are necessary then, and I certainly think the publication today of the report by the Mahon Tribunal certainly emphasises this necessity. It was with great dismay that I read the outcome of a tribunal that has been 15 years in the making. The 3,270 pages makes for interesting, if desperately disappointing reading. That Fianna Fáil has severely damaged the economy is certainly true, but it is equally true that the body politic has been undermined by revelations contained in this report. The Mahon report has demonstrated that Bertie Ahern failed to truthfully account for over 165,000, which is quite incredible. This is the same Bertie Ahern who gave the performance of a lifetime when he told his sob story on RTE and has now been found to be totally lacking in credibility. Indeed, I do wonder, had this information from the Mahon Tribunal come out at the 2007 elections, how different things might have been. A different government would likely have been elected, and the responses to our economic downturn would, in my opinion, have been far better than those of the last tired government clinging to power. And Mr Ahern was not the only Fianna Fáil TD who has been subject to findings in this report. Indeed, findings of corruption have been made against several, including people like Pádraig Flynn. I must also say that I was disturbed that members of the previous cabinet made sustained and virulent attacks on the integrity of the tribunal members. The report states that there is little doubt the objectives of these extraordinary and unprecedented attacks on the tribunal were to undermine the efficient conduct of the tribunal, erode its independence and collapse the inquiry. Perhaps this is not unexpected, given that previous cabinet members stood by Mr Ahern again and again when the dogs on the street knew that there was something off in the affairs of the then Taoiseach. In regards to the issues of tying political funding to the selection of female candidates at general elections, I must say I am in favour. I do think it is unfortunate that quotas are necessary, as the idealist in me would like to see a natural 50-50 breakdown in representation. However, given that only 15% of members of the Dáil are women, and this is an historic high, I think it is clear that change is needed. The Dáil before this had 13% and before that less again. These percentages are appalling, and of course many reasons abound for this lack of representation. Indeed, an Oireachtas study carried out in 2009 demonstrated that 5 C's need to be addressed to facilitate entry of more women into politics. They included confidence, childcare, cash, culture and candidate selection. I do feel that candidate selection is vitally important to increasing our numbers, and this became even more apparent to me in the last general election when I stood as one of only 2 candidates selected out of a grand total of 24 that went before the electorate of Wicklow and East Carlow. This lack of choice becomes evident when we see that in the previous Dáil it was calculated that 47% of Irish women have no female TD to represent them, while by contrast 100% of Irish men do have a male TD. That's a bizarre situation, Cathaoirleach. This 100% figure for Irish men is reflected poorly sometimes in the culture of the Dáil, relating not only to the unfriendly family working hours, but also the approach to politics. In terms of childcare, I know firsthand the difficulties of trying to enter into a life in politics while bringing up children. I have 3 girls of my own, women now, but back before I served in the Wicklow County Council and Bray Town Council, the obvious care they needed, as all children do, was provided primarily by me. I think that women are more measured in their approach to politics. There's less of the grandstanding and more of a concerted effort to resolve outstanding problems. Research has shown that for women to exert a substantive issue on the decisions taken by the legislature, it must reach a critical mass of at least 1/3 of the seats present. It would be helpful then if quotas could also be applied to local elections, as not only would this benefit local government, but also Dáil Éireann, as many TDs come through the council system. All in all, though, Cathaoirleach, I do welcome this bill and I look forward to seeing its measures implemented.
Thank you very much, Deputy Head.